Welcome to Under One. This starts off as the eulogy. And a eulogy is about life, about the ending of life, or we can do the beginning of life. But let's start with the beginning. There's a lot of things that's been going on in the world, and I felt like God woke me up to it. I'm 42 years old now. I started off as a child, and when you start off as a child, you don't think about what's going on in the world. You want to enjoy yourself. You get 20, you want to drink, you want to hang out. You get 21, you want to do everything. You want to go to Atlantic City, anything that you do when you're 21. You want to be adult. But when you get to that age, when you have to open your window one day and look out and say, wow, there's the problem. So that's what happened one day. I looked out my window and said, wow. I'm not going to name no names because, I think we done heard it in the news already. But I am going to name some facts. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Malcolm X taught people that you can be anybody you want to be. And you can run with anybody you want to run with. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's a deaf thing that's going on right now. Martin Luther King fought for everybody. Even in the news, they try to portray him back in the day. Oh, Martin Luther King cheated and all that. It's not about that. It's about what he did for us. And look at our legacy right now. We're killing us. We wonder why in Florida a kid got killed by, I'm not even going to say a white man, just by a man that just didn't have it up there. You understand? Because we look different. First of all, we're not different. If we pull our skin off, we got that same blood and everything. Then you wonder why cops run into a Bronx kid's house and kill him. Just kill him dead. And then they try to cover it up. But then now everybody's mad. Yeah, we're all upset. We're upset at these simple facts that's happening because it shouldn't be happening. But yet and still, we commit genocide on ourselves. This is our problem. We can get mad at somebody killing a kid in Florida. We can get mad at a bunch of people with blue outfits killing a kid in his own apartment in front of his mother and said, oh, he was running and he was doing this, which he wasn't. But why can't we get mad at ourselves when we commit genocide to our own people? Let's understand this. This world that we live in is America. And no matter what anybody says, it's our America. Black, white, whatever. We used to be kings and queens back in the day. And I'm talking about far back in the day. Our mind, if you look at the black mind, it's smarter than any other mind. But yet and still we suppress our own mind. We start hanging out in the street thinking we doing the right thing. We're not. We're too smart for this. We have an understanding. Knowledge of self brings a whole bunch of other things. I don't want nobody to wake up one day and say, like I did, is this it? This is life? Because it's not. It's one thing that we have to understand and we have to stop doing. Number one, wearing the pants hanging down. Why? For what? For what? We don't want to see your drawers. Nobody does. And it's not trying to disrespect you. It's trying to understand. This is why we get treated the way we do. Read your heritage. It was a scripture. It was the Willie Lynch theory. Now you might not want to hear this right now because nobody wants to hear nobody talking. But it was the Willie Lynch theory. It showed how to keep your slave down. And the slave mentality is what we're doing now. We have a slave mentality we have to break out of. And it's the hardest thing to do in the world. But once we break out of it and start loving ourselves from within, we can do anything in the world. That's what we have to understand. We can do anything in the world. We don't have to work for pennies. You know what I'm saying? We can own our own businesses. And yeah, it makes it hard for us because you know why? We're not together. In all instances, we're apart. Caucasians together. Hispanics together. Why African Americans are not together? I don't care if you're African, Jamaican, we're all black. Because when you turn around, everybody's looking at the black race. Nobody's looking at, oh, that's a Jamaican. That's a black man. No, we're looked at as black. And yet and still, we hate each other. Or we dislike each other. We can't get along. We have problems with each other. For what reason? But when we see somebody get killed, when another race kills us, that's when we want to fight and argue and get upset. But when we're killing our own race, it's like, oh, well, this and that. It shouldn't be that way. We have an obligation not just to our parents, to our kids. You know, and I'm going to just switch it off a little bit. Deadbeat moms, deadbeat dads. I mean, really? These kids are out here suffering. And a lot of people say, well, the kid is bad. You know, if that kid had a good whipping, let me tell you something. Sometimes that's not the answer. Sometimes it could be love, or sometimes it could be just DNA. That's it. And that's all we're gonna go with. We can't just say every kid that acts out needs a whipping or should have been spanked, or you blame the parents. It's not always the parents' fault. I've seen a lot of hard-working parents do what they have to do in their families. And they wasn't raised like that. And a lot of people don't raise their kids like that. It's like when you walk out that door, you're gonna do what you wanna do regardless. When you come home, it's different. But when you walk out them doors, that's your life. Now, like, I'm not gonna say nothing about God because I love God. I have nothing against it. But let me ask you a question. In the Bible, God flooded the world twice. I guess to actually say, we were making mistakes as humans. And we go to this word humans because we're all human beings. This time you didn't see no floods. You didn't see nothing. Because you know what? In his mind and in your mind and in our mind, we know that we're killing ourselves. Okay, we talk about the black race. We can go to the Caucasian race or the white race. They kill each other too. But you know why they kill each other? They kill each other for money. They steal and they do everything. Okay, but nobody sees that. We're news. So if we're news, and I mean we're big news. So if we're news, why we can't stop it? I guarantee you, 1 week, stop smoking the sour. Stop going to the liquor store. Stop going to McDonald's and all them greasy foods that they put around us to make us fat, to make us high, to make us drunk. 1 week. Stop playing the lotto. My producer live is right. Stop playing the lotto. 1 week. 1 week. I bet you it'll be a whole problem. Then it won't be news no more. It's like, why y'all not doing it? They'll be upset. This is why they bring us down. I have drove, and I'm sure my producer can attest to this. We've driven in the nicest places. It's not 3 chicken spots on the block. It's not 3 liquor stores on the block. I'm sure everybody heard this before, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? There's not blunts in all the stores. Why are everybody selling us blunts? They sell us all that. I mean, come on, really? They trying to stop us. Progress. If you don't have knowledge yourself, you can't go nowhere. I'm not saying you can't smoke weed because everybody smoke weed. Weed comes from back in the day. But it's something that they're doing to suppress your brain in that weed. Back in the day, it was cool to smoke, and your mind would be normal. But now, we're starting to look like fiends. And that's not right. Just understand that we have a lot to offer the world, and plus ourselves. But you know what? They're not going to let us do it unless we rise up as a people. Martin Luther King did it. He got killed for it. Because you know why? He was going to make something. Malcolm X, he got killed for doing the right thing and showing people it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's just a race, all in all. We are all one race. We just don't want to understand it. We just don't want to see it. Nobody's doing better than nobody. We just don't see it. Now, if you're from the hood, I want you to look, and especially if you're from New York, because they're pushing you out, and we just don't know it yet. 1970, Harlem was black owned. 2012, no black people own nothing no more, but the Africans have their little spot over there. They're pushing us out. And it's not about the Africans, it's about how they did it, how the segregation starts. You're not looking. We just sit on the corner and we think it's all gonna be all right. That's why you got all the detectives around. That's why the cops harass us. That's why they try to kill us. One, we're not together. Two, we're not seeing the bigger picture. When you start seeing Caucasian people just being planted and planted and planted and planted, and they building up new buildings, it's not for us. It's for them. It's for everybody that has that money to push us out of here. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Seriously. So you mean for the next 10 years, we're going to keep on doing what we're doing, killing each other, or watching us be killed? Because the reason why, you know the reason why it's so easy for us to be killed? Because we kill each other.